What's up, YouTube? This your boy Perfect Cell, and I'm back with another recognition video, and this time is another video game recognition video. Yes, I know I've been kind of slacking with the recognition videos, especially with the video game recognition videos, considering the fact that it's been almost 3 months since I made my last video game recognition video. And just in case if y'all guys don't know or late to the party, the last video that I had on my video game recognition was on Urban Reign. And make sure y'all check that game out if you haven't already. And make sure y'all check that video that I made out if you haven't already as well. But anyway, so today's game, we're going to be talking about Activision's True Crime New York City. Now, this game right here, I remember playing this game for the very first time. You know, this game right here is one in a million. Because to be honest with you, I have yet to see a game of this caliber. It's like this game is like its own subgenre or something. Like, it's pretty weird, man. Like, I haven't seen that in the game from this blueprint in a while. Well, I have seen Sleeping Dogs, which is basically the sequel to True Crime New York City. So yeah, man. So True Crime New York City was released in 2005, and it was a sequel from True Crime Streets of LA. After True Crime Streets of LA, Activision began to go to work on this project after its predecessor. And the game definitely does not disappoint. Although it has some flaws, which I'll get into later, it doesn't disappoint, man. This game is off the chain. So what I'm about to do now, I'm about to get into the plot, I'm about to get into the gameplay, I'm about to get into the cast, and I'm about to get into the reviews. So the story is about Marcus Reed, a cop who's eventually a detective who was a former gangbanger. As his father, he was an extortionist. Marcus Reed is a detective on the Organized Crime Unit, which is called the OCU. And this is all thanks to Terrence Terry Higgins, who is Reed's godfather. Marcus, he's usually a rebel with a good cause. And before, when Marcus was doing the crime and what have you, Terry convinced Marcus to go get a job in law enforcement. This all happened after Marcus killed Kevlar for setting him up along with his father. And as Terry seen the aftermath of the scene of Marcus killing everybody, Terry, he could have arrested Marcus for his actions, but he decided to let him go free. But anyways, as Reed is celebrating being a detective and being in training, Terry goes inside of a building to go with a briefcase. And then out of nowhere, the building explodes. And this event leaves Marcus upset and furious, and he wants revenge. Until Lieutenant Debbie, I think her name is Lieutenant Debbie, she said not to go in this case. And also, because he has no partner, he has temporarily been assigned to walk the beat like he did before he became a detective. That is until he ran into an FBI agent who was a former detective of the OCU. And that FBI agent, he told Marcus that Terry, he had many insights on the ringleaders of all the gangs around New York City. And he was about to put an end to them. And because he was about to put an end to them, there was one quote-unquote mole who knew about it, and it ultimately led to Terry's untimely demise. And all the kingpins, they all have information on Terry's assassin. So Marcus, he went to 4 different kingpins as a rogue in hopes of to bust Terry's assassin. And come to find out, Terry was alive the whole time, and Victor Navarro, he was set up. Now, depending if you're a good cop or a bad cop, if you're a good cop, you can arrest Terry for his crime. And the OCU chief, Victor Navarro, he goes free. Well, you never really liked Victor Navarro any damn way, so yeah. And if you're a bad cop, the OCU chief goes to jail. And then not only Victor Navarro, he goes to jail, but you get to kill Terry, and then you get to own the OCU. Well, not own it, but become promoted and what have you. All in all, the plot seems pretty cool, even though it was a little short. But anyways, I'll get to that later. Let's just get into the gameplay, bro. So, like I mentioned before, there's a good cop and a bad cop status that you uphold. And to be a good cop, you have to do the crimes, all the organized crime that's going on through your dispatch, and you gotta arrest all the suspects within the crime dispatch, and you can't kill none of them. All right. And also, before you end up, if you gotta shoot at the suspect, before you end up shooting, make sure you tell the police that, hey, that you a cop too, because if you don't flash a badge to the police, they will shoot you or they will beat you up, and it is not, and yeah man, and it is annoying. And another thing you can do as a good cop is that you can collect evidence and turn it into the precinct. And to be a bad cop, well, really it's not that hard to be a bad cop. All you gotta do is kill all your suspects, kill innocent people, accept bribes from suspects, and plant evidence on innocent people, and so on and so forth. And along with the good cop, bad cop status is a ranking system, a 5-badge ranking system. And the higher you are in the rankings, the more access you got to weapons and cars that are being sold in your precinct. Oh, and also you get to have more features on your slow motion aiming. Even though there's the missions that resonate with the plots, there's also sub missions too, like drag racing and fight clubs and everything else with performance missions, such as the cabbie missions and missions that you have to do for your dad, and so on and so forth. And like I mentioned before, like the crime on the dispatch missions sometimes leads you into getting evidence, which is good for your wallet and also good for your ranking. And not to mention, you can go to various stores like gun stores. You can buy various guns and weapons. Shoot, and also the weapon choice, you got a lot of damn variety here. You know, you can use axe, samurai swords. You can even learn how to like fight like a samurai with the sword too. Or you can use like pieces of broken chairs. You can use bats and all this other stuff. And hell, you can, like, if somebody get their arm or leg like blown off, you can use their amputated leg to beat them with it. Just like Quan Chi. And also, shoot, you want to be able to like catch a suspect without killing them. Sometimes you have like weapons that are not deadly firearms, but you can like shoot them, you can stop them and arrest them without ended up killing them, you know? And there's also music stores, there's clothing stores, there's like concession stands, just in case if your health is low, you can go get a hot dog and put your health right up. And also you can go to car dealerships, you know, just in case if the cars that they give you at the police station isn't enough for you, you want something real, you know, you can go ahead and get yourself a car at the car dealership, you know. And then there's dojos where you can learn various martial arts, such as brawling, such as taekwondo, karate, wushu, and all that other stuff, man. Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. Now, although the video game had a variety of options, it still had its flaws, you know? Okay, one thing I want to say is this. Marcus moves super slow. Super duper slow. And to make matters worse, there is no sprint button, so catching a suspect that's fleeing from you can be tedious. Me, I usually use the slow motion aim and shoot the fleeing suspect in an area that's not a fatal area. Or if I got a non-deadly firearm, I just shoot the suspect. But that's usually how like I handle a suspect that's running from me. I just shoot him. Another flaw that I like to mention before is that the story is very short, and not only is it short, but it doesn't really have much of a challenge really. And I put my hand on the Bible. I beat this whole game at 10 years old in one day. 10 years old. A 10-year-old should not be able to beat an M-ready game in under a day, especially a 10-year-old that was in special ed classes. Come on, guys. But anyways, I'll get to the reviews much later. But I also want to mention is this. The game, it often stops a whole lot. And sometimes it won't be nothing wrong with the physical disc. It will just stop on you just to stop on you, because the game has a whole lot of bugs and what have you that the developers came back to fix. So basically, whenever you're playing this game, you're walking on eggshells. And not to mention, it is very hard to drive in this game. Now, I understand, you know, GTA, like in that generation of consoles, GTA San Andreas and GTA Vice City, it was kind of hard to drive in that game too. But at least once you got the hang of driving in those games, you pretty much like know how to handle your car. But with true crime, like, you just can't win when it comes to driving. Like every time you turn a corner, you turn so wide, it looks like you finna go off your screen. And also, you would think with a game that has a variety of martial arts, that like Marcus would not like move so, or anybody else for that matter would not move so slow when they doing an attack or doing a combo. But yeah, man, those are pretty much my complaints about the game. But I also want to say this: there is a code that you must put, that you have to put in, you know, like and that code, what that code does, it lets you play as Redman, and you can go on a killing spree. That's pretty dope. And speaking of Redman and music, you know, True Crime New York City, boy, it has a dope soundtrack from Blue Oyster Cult up to Public Enemy. And Public Enemy is my favorite rap group of all time. So the cast, there's Marcus Reed, the playable protagonist, who was a gangster alongside his father Isaiah Reed until he became a cop. His father Isaiah the King Reed, he was a big-time extortionist, which ultimately led to his incarceration. As he's in jail, he gives Terry a favor to look after Marcus while he's in prison. Terry is a Terry is a detective of the OCU who gets Marcus on the path of law enforcement. And then you have the chief of police, Victor Navarro, who is very suspicious of Reed's presence in the OCU. Then you have Lieutenant Dixon, who used to be Marcus's boss when he was just a regular cop. And then you have Vincent Tucci, the kingpin of the Palermo mob, Benjamin Jones, the boss of the President Club, Shin, the leader of the Shadow Town, and Magdalena Rojas, who goes by the alias Teresa Castillo. She's the leader of the Magdalena cartel. I can't pronounce the name, but you know what I mean. So the ratings for this game, it was very decent on IGN, but not so much decent on GameSpot. Well, to be fair, I never really trusted GameSpot's judgment. I mean, this is the same people that said that MK Mythologies was a good game. But my personal rating for it is a 6.5 out of 10. Because although the gameplay was very resourceful and well proportionate, and the graphics was decent for its era, and not to mention this game has a whole lot of variety in terms of combat and in terms of just doing a whole lot of adventuring. You know, the mobility of the game was kind of slow and awkward, and to be honest with you, the gameplay, it still felt like it was rushed. But even though it was rushed, in my opinion, like I have to say that Activision, they did a good job with the game. Imagine if Activision actually took the time to go back and fix the bugs and work out the kinks. Man, this would be one of their best creations. But hey, you know, whether it's the bugs in there or not, like, I still love this game. This game is a classic in my opinion, and I'll always cherish this game at all. But anyways, guys, this concludes this here video. This your boy Perfect Cell. Hey, comment on what you think about the game. You know, this your boy Perfect Cell, and I'm Ghost.
Sweet Mary J, Mary Kate and Ashley, two twins rolled up. I think